Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you might be. Happy time zone, everyone. We're back for the first time in 2 months. It's a little weird. It's feeling a little rusty. If my hair doesn't say rusty already, I don't know what else will. We're back. We have a new friend here today with us. None other than the lovely Shannon Keene. Hey,
Hello.
Shannon.
Yes.
How's it going?
You
Going
know,
well.
it's early.
It's not that early for you.
Look who's complaining. It's like 7 a.m. from this side 7. Then Saturn is at 9
I'm
and
9.
JP's at 10, and it's early for him.
We need to invert them so that it follows the time zones across the screen.
From west to east. I see
From
what
west
you're
to
doing.
east.
Yeah.
That's right.
Man, it's been a while, right? When was the last time that we did this stream?
I mean, it's been at least a couple months.
Months.
I mean, it's been far too long, but it is what it is.
It is
Trying
what it
to
is.
trying to stay relevant to our division so they don't fire us. Takes a lot of work. And who knows, they might still.
Yeah. The 2 rogue agents, now 3 rogue agents, running around talking about stuff.
Yep.
Shannon, it's been a while, right? When was the last time we had you on the stream as a
It was
guest?
it was at least a year ago.
A year ago.
Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit more than a year ago. And I came on to talk about the ARM templates I had built for replica domain controllers, making the joke that most customers aren't building out brand new forest in a brand new domain inside of Azure. They're extending it. Well, I had gone the route of writing a bunch of blog posts, and JP said, "Do you want to come on and talk about it?" I said, "Sure." So it was fun. It was good times.
It was so good times, such good times that you wanna
I
spill the
joined.
beans?
I joined the team. I'm on this team now. This is my team.
That's what happens when you have too much fun.
Right,
You come
exactly.
here one time and you're
Yeah.
hooked. It
Yeah.
just took a year because that's about what it takes for Microsoft HR to do anything. But that's okay. Fun fact: that was actually Shannon's interview, and she just now managed
Yeah.
to get her hired because
She
Yeah.
passed.
it takes a
She
while.
passed live on stream.
It only took a year. It only took a year. It's good.
That's right. So, yeah, super, super awesome, though. I mean, I couldn't think of anyone better to come in. So, you might make us all act like adults occasionally.
Maybe. I don't know.
No,
It's
no.
overrated.
There's no chance.
Nothing good
Save
ever comes from
ourselves.
people acting like adults.
But
Well,
then again, if we act like adults, then nobody will be watching us because it will be a boring show.
This is
No,
also
true.
true. People tune in for the personality. They don't tune in for the technical stuff. If they wanted
No.
all the technical stuff, they just go to the documentation, right?
Definitely not this show.
well, I don't know if I'd say they could go to the documentation. They could get maybe they come back to ask questions about the documentation.
And talking about questions, make sure to join our Discord, right?
Yes.
Because
I flattened
great
I
community.
flattened my PC last night, and I keep on forgetting I have so many things that I don't have. Like I don't have Discord installed, which I should probably go out and do. But
I wonder how many things we'll find out you left behind that we don't know about. This morning, I was thinking, what could break? What can break? And we won't know about it until like 6 months later.
Bolt is excited, and so am I that it's
I know.
happening again.
Bold.
Yeah,
we missed all of you.
it's definitely been kind of weird, like because the Discord has been bumping. People have been busy. Everybody's trying to do
Yes.
some identity work, it seems, and it's been weird to not have shows to like come and pick up the stuff that people have been asking about in Discord.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. So,
But in saying that, Bolt is doing a fantastic job. Maybe we should actually hire him as well, considering how much work he's doing on Discord.
I think we should. I mean, if anybody is triaging Discord, it's Bolt. I mean,
He's all over the place.
the guy's a machine. So we were trying to get him MVP and everything else because he's absolutely an MVP. It's just whether or not you play the right
An
game.
MVP in our hearts.
Yeah, always.
And a real MVP because he's doing a lot of work. I was just messing
Yeah, he
about.
is.
Yeah, he is.
So anyway, so Shannon's going to be joining, or is joining, or has joined, I guess.
I've already
Has
joined.
joined for
I've already joined.
2 weeks now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe 3.
3
I don't
weeks.
know. COVID times are weird. I think it's like it's not 2 weeks; it's 3 weeks. It's close to a month.
It
I was
is.
talking to my wife last night, and we were like looking at like insurance stuff. 'Cause, it's the end of the year, so we've already met our deductible. So it's like, what other stuff do we need to slam in before January? And
Go for a massage.
like, what year is it? Is it 2021? Is it 2022? Like, we couldn't. We both sat here kind of like, not sure what year it is, but
Scary, man. It's almost 2022. I was scheduling stuff yesterday for next year, stuff we'll be doing, and everything was 2022, which is scary. This year has just flew by.
Yep.
Well, and so on that note, January is going to be a fun month because January is going to be a bunch of new streams that are happening here, all about decentralized identity and verifiable credentials and all that sort of fun stuff that we have constantly been asked to talk about and have expertly dodged for a while. So I'm pretty excited to see where that goes. I think that's going to be a really cool set of streams with a big cool hackathon at the end. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the hackathon is going to be fun. Lots of fun things happening in January. It's going to be a full month of activity. So we may have been quiet for 3 months now, but there's definitely a lot of things. I see CM is still in jammies. 45 so you know what? They haven't done 45 jammies. We need to. Thank you for the great idea, Bolt.
Right now. Yeah.
And Bruce Lane is on the stream as well. Hey, Bruce. Hope you're doing well.
Or Bruce, or afternoon, or whatever time zone.
I'm a little bit disappointed. Where's Sahil? Sahil, this stream is for you. You've been asking us for streams all this time.
Bruce is excited about .NET 6. I am too, Bruce. Check out my shirt or my hoodie. See, my son, who's 8, he's like, "What does that mean?" I was like, "Yeah, it's not even worth." I thought one of the things I could put here would be like a question mark, like .NET run, but.
It's the Oxford comma. Depending on where you put it, it gives a different meaning to the sentence.
Well, I tried yesterday to do some Blazor Wasm with VS Code. It's pretty awful. It just doesn't work. I mean, I'm just like, the debugger doesn't work. IntelliSense doesn't work. OmniSharp just falls over on itself. So I was complaining, and somebody said, "Well, you should try Rider." That also doesn't work. That doesn't even load the solution. It's just like, I don't know what to do here. So Rider just died, and I'm not installing Visual Studio. So I guess I'll just have to do it with Notepad and hope for the best. What do they say? Real
Papyrus. He will send it over. Somebody will scan it, and then they will fit it through the PC, and then somebody will compile it.
Punch cards. Yeah. So
those were the days.
It was disappointing because I used VS Code for Blazor Wasm before, and it worked quite well. And so I don't know what's changed, and maybe it must be a .NET 6 thing. But anyway, Bruce, to your point, I am excited about .NET 6 too. I quite like it, and the minimal API, minimal console thing, like the whole new project templates, those kind of throw me off because what I really want is I don't like it. What I really want is something that pre-builds my startup.cs with all the stuff I already need all the time in it. That would be great. But, Hey, Code with Sean. He's back. Good old Sean from, is it Nebraska? I think
so. Hey, Sean.
9-month subscription.
Nebraska represent.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. That's where I'm originally from.
Yeah. Really?
Yes.
Huskers.
Yeah. So last year when I couldn't go home for the holidays, my mom bought me this Nebraska. That's what you see when you drive into Nebraska. So my mom was all goofed. We were on, video chat, and she's like, "No, open up the next gift." And so I opened up, nice. And I got the corn hat. I gave JP one of those many moons ago.
Oh, yeah. I have it.
I think his kids love it more than he does.
Well, my head's too big to fit. So I put it on, and it was like this little, like right here. It looked a little awkward. It's like, what is this thing? So, Shannon, is your internet still broken? Are you still on like your 5G?
No. I've been back on Xfinity. So when the big Xfinity outage happened, I switched over to T-Mobile Home, and it worked out really well. I just couldn't do a lot of video. because I wasn't.
Oh.
I mean, I was hardwired into my gear, but I was only getting about 400 megs down, and like it was fine-ish. But if like I wanted to like have like my mirrorless camera working, wanted to have not a choppy sort of sensation, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just turn off video. But yeah, it works from a backup ISP perspective. It works. I might get a little bit better bandwidth if I could find a better spot to put it. That's like where it sucks. It's like where all my networking gear is. I don't get super fantastic 5G signal back here.
Well, it looks like you're just because you're like you said Nebraska, and it just looks like pixels to me because I can't see.
Yeah, it is pixelated. You are a little bit pixelated.
Very.
It does say Nebraska, and I'm guessing it's because I'm using the mirrorless camera. If I use my Brio, you could probably see it a little bit better.
It's very potato today. Very potato quality today. I don't know why.
Is Nebraska known for potatoes?
No, they're known for the Cornhuskers, and they're known for corn husking, and so I get made fun of quite a bit here in Illinois. Although Illinois and Iowa make more corn or produce more corn than Nebraska, believe it or not. But because Nebraska's college team is called the Cornhuskers, that's what sort of screws it for Nebraskans.
Well, it's funny. There are lots of states that are known for things that they really shouldn't be. Like, for example, lots of people talk about Texas having good barbecue. And it's like, I mean, North Carolina has the best barbecue in the country. Nobody can ever talk me down off that ledge. And, people say, oh, what about Texas? What about St. Louis? Like, that's not really barbecue. Like, they consider barbecuing a verb, right? And here it's absolutely delicious and it's a noun. So that's my hot take. Speaking of hot takes, I have to come up with a hot take for a meeting later today. And I don't really know what I should use because I don't want to be like super offensive because there's definitely lots of super offensive hot takes. But something that's moderately offensive, sort of like you're gonna find out kind of thing. And I'm not sure what it is. My original thought is that dogs are lame because I don't like dogs. But I figure people might
you're just gonna offend half of the population. So, I mean, that's a big hot take.
Cat lovers. He's more of a cat lover.
Let me be clear. I don't mind the dog itself. It's the people that own them who feel like they should take their dog, like, for example, in the basket at the grocery store. Don't do that. Or the lady on the plane who sat down and rolled out one of these artificial turf mats in front of her feet for her little dog to use throughout the flight. Like, don't do that. Now, that's not the dog's fault that her owner is a clown, right? But, anyway.
Do they not say that dogs represent their owners or something like that? Like, you see some dogs with funky clothes and weird stuff, and it's a representation of their owners, but...
I mean, I don't mind the dog. Like, I had dogs when I was a kid. I loved them.
It's not the dog's fault. It's not choosing what to do, right?
Yeah. Right. I mean, my son wants a dog, and we got him a robot dog for Christmas. I think
that's a fair compromise.
In fact, I feel like that's going to last for like a day, and then he's going to want the dog again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I also have a 3-year-old, so that's enough of a dog for me. Getting sitting on the floor and everything else. So, anyway, so I have to come up with a hot take, and I just don't really know. I don't know. It's a group of people I've never met before, so I don't really know.
Something B2C, something?
At least people won't know.
Fill the blanks? No. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Can you use a film reference to offend people?
I don't really like Quentin Tarantino movies. Is that a hot take?
Nah.
Not really.
Nah.
I don't think so. I mean, some of them are good, but like
just say something about Star Wars or Star Trek.
Oh yeah, there you go. You're not a big Star Wars fan or a Star Trek fan.
Never saw them.
There you go.
Never saw them.
Done.
That's a hot take.
So many people. But they want.
I learned a lot about Star Wars at a place that I worked at because they named their servers after places in Star Wars.
Remember, we talked about that because I worked at a place that had they had Star Wars names, and then they named something like Genesis, and I'm like the band. They're like, no, like the start, and I'm like, oh, okay, what? It was their domain controller.
This must have been in Nebraska.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, that's a little.
I mean, you can go into religion and politics, and then you can easily offend people there, no matter what you do. So
yeah, I mean, you don't have to do too much either.
Yeah, you don't have to do much.
Johnny B. Cat said, "You woke me up with Star Wars and Star Trek." The thing is, so when Star Wars came out, my parents, like I was little, and so my parents were like, "Well, he's not going to watch Star Wars, obviously, because he's like 2 or whatever." And but my dad was never into it either, nor my mom. So I just never watched him. And then a guy I worked with was really upset about it, and he's like, "Well, I'm going to come over. We're going to watch it." But he brought a bunch of beer and food, and so I fell asleep. So I have seen the first 45 minutes of number 4, even I guess number 4.
Even though
he started with the right order. Oh, he started with
Yeah.
in the traditional way of watching Star Wars. I watched 1, 2, whatever, again with my daughters, and they loved them. Tell us, friends, which order would you watch Star Wars? Let's have a fight in the chat.
I didn't realize there was one. You know, we do need a merch shop. That's probably a good idea. So I got this hoodie, Sean, came from Scott Hanselman he ran a campaign for charity, and so I ordered it from there. I'd say they run a bit small, so make sure you order big. Like this is a 2X, and I mean I'm not like a small guy, but I'm also, I mean at least I don't hope I'm a 2X kind of guy, but apparently I am for this little hoodie. So they run small, so buy a big one.
Not sure we're gonna sell that much 45 show merch. I mean, I know that you guys like us, but I don't think that many people in the world like us. That probably will go under if that was our business model.
We should just do a special one-time run.
Uh-huh.
Special edition. It'll be like an NFT that you can hold that has actual value.
There you go.
There's a hot
That's
take.
a hot take.
Good.
There you go. You found it.
There's an NFT that actually
Crypto and NFT. Done.
A physical NFT with value. Problem solved. Hot take done. So
A physical NFT
with
with
value.
value.
A fungible token. Just an FT.
Yeah. Yeah, a fungible token. You can pass around with sentimental value. Wait, so talking about NFTs, did not somebody create a pirate NFT or whatever where he actually went and scanned
yeah.
every single NFT and made it available on the website?
Yeah, something.
The
That is awesome.
NFT Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved it.
Pretty funny.
I love that. That was amazing. So many opportunities to provide a hot take, JP. There you go.
See, now this is an idea, Bolt. So what we do is every piece of merch on like the tag in the back, right? On the tag on the inside has a QR code you can scan to get a verifiable credential.
Damn it, he stole it out of my mouth.
Be awesome.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see a lot of QRs in January because it will be all about verifiable credentials and the ID and QR codes. Because we have a running joke here, Shannon, that you're probably not privy to. Because I am passionate about QR codes, and we were trying to use one to get people to visit our news. I think. Obviously, I fudged up the QR code, so it was not taking people anywhere. And then then JP replaced my mugshot with a QR. So for half a show, I was a QR code, a talking QR code,
Yeah.
and ever since, every time we have an opportunity to provide a QR code, we try to.
Deep fakes.
Yeah.
Deep fake QR codes.
Yes, but yeah, I like the merch idea. We'll probably we can probably set something up with Cottage, which is probably how JP got his, and we can send the funds to a charity, probably Black Girls Who Code or some other charity for developers, which would be a good idea. Which reminds me, we still have to use our subscription money to send them to charity. We haven't done that yet.
Speaking of charities, what we could do is start like a B2C custom policy support group for people who have had to build them.
That is part of the. Do not have that in Discord.
We can help feed and clothe their children and offer emotional support.
B2C Anonymous.
B2CA. Oh man, it would have to get like, but instead of a coin, it would be like a misshapen coin. It'd be sort of like
Or
like
an XML statement. An XML statement. You get small bits of the XML
in the
statement.
middle. Yeah. I guess that's kind of what Discord is B2C Anonymous.
It is B2C Anonymous because 90% of the content there is B2C.
Because it's the hardest thing to do.
It's
The most arcane, esoteric, weird. It's like SharePoint if SharePoint was weirder and harder to use, which I never
if,
thought.
if SharePoint was running on XML.
Yeah.
So much SharePoint does. You're sort of like, well, so anyway,
Deep breath.
yeah. So
Are you going to
today.
drop the news or not? Because I don't want
guess
to
so.
steal your thunder.
Wait a minute, we gotta.
Bolt sent something. Identity crisis.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Nice.
So
Maybe you have a DID verifiable credential for B2C support group.
yeah, there you
I
go.
attended day 1, day 10, day 100, day 1,000.
Well, anytime you build a custom policy, you
should
build
do
the XML or you build an XML representation of a QR code.
Uh-huh.
So I'm sure that's a lot of fun to do. So anyway,
Yeah.
so this is my last show because I'm leaving. I got a new job, and so I got to go. Which is part of why I'm glad that Shannon's here because she can help. She can sort of help take over, even though now she's frozen.
Yeah, I'm frozen. Can you hear me?
The news killed the stream.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, let me
Right,
hang on a second.
The video comes back.
Yeah, hang on a second.
Maybe she's crying.
This.
Maybe
I
she's
don't
crying.
think so. Here's
There we go.
Oh my God!
There's
Somebody
the
sent Sun on some pixels.
Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna find.
Should we
Fun?
start a GoFundMe for
GoFundMe.
Shannon's internet?
No, it's,
Something?
I actually don't. So I actually left my mirrorless camera on all last night, and so I wonder if that was it. So
No.
I've got my Brio as a backup. I don't know if you can see the Nebraska a little bit better. It's a little
It
less.
is slightly better, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see Neb. So Neb works. What is Left Field, by the way?
Oh, it's a band. It's a band. It's a band. They're based out of the UK, and it's also a genre too. So some people have been like, "Wait a minute, is it the genre or the band?" And I'm like, "It's the band." And I'm like, "I love that you're nerdy enough to know that." They're a big one of my favorites. They're one of my favorites, but they only have like 2 albums that are out, and they never tour. And so I happened to find that poster at one of those record stores, and I nabbed it. So that's the.
People demand to know, JP. Tell them more.
Well, I'm leaving for Okta. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, come on!
That's not what you told us.
I mean, that would be treason. If you were to do that, that would be treason.
Well, I think if I left for a competitor, they escort you out. Like it's very instant.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know if they escort you out. I think they definitely cut off access right away.
Garden leave. You go automatically on garden leave. So Phil Stanley, who used to be my partner at Microsoft when I was in the UK, he left for Amazon, and as soon as he mentioned that, he had to actually disclose it because he had like insane clearance at Microsoft. He was put on garden leave the same minute. So
I kind of like that term, garden leave.
Well,
I kind of like to go on a garden leave. I think.
Yeah, it's or sabbatical. Yeah, but
Is that
paid holiday while you sit there not having access to company secrets. Is
Yeah,
great.
that's
Well,
I think what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am. Yeah, I'm leaving Microsoft. I'm going to go work at a startup to build their build a SaaS platform. So, no, I told Christos I figured the thing that got me to Microsoft in the first place was building and shipping software, and it's not something I've done a whole lot of in the past couple of years. So it's time to go back and do that and get the tools sharp again, and then either make a ton of money and retire or not and have to come back. So, I figure it'll be fun. Get to go lead a team and build some software, and it's for public safety. So I think that'll be cool to help people who are out there trying to keep all of us safe all the time. EMS and fire, and police, all this sort of stuff. So I think it'll be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So, and I'll still be in Discord, of course, because inevitably I'll probably be there asking questions about why doesn't this work? Somebody please go and complain about this still not working, please.
Please raise a support ticket. AK Anonymous 425/help.
So funny story about support. Last week, I was cleaning stuff out, getting ready to go, and I was looking at an old MSDN subscription I had, and I looked at the cost management in Azure, And there is a resource group that has been billing $5.34 for like the last 9 years or something. $5.34.
Website? Do you have a website or something on there?
No, it was a machine learning workspace.
Oh.
The portal for it has been deprecated. So I couldn't delete it, but I couldn't get to it either. But it was still costing money.
Nice.
So I opened a support ticket and said, "Hey, like this resource group's costing me money, and I need to get it deleted, but I can't see it in CLI or in Resource Manager or anything, and I obviously can't get back to the old portal." And it's taken a week, and they finally deleted it. Like I think they had to call some guy and say, "Hey, there's this old workspace out there. Could you please go and delete it?" And it's like running on a machine underneath a guy's desk or something.
Yep.
And so I finally got it. So I'll get my $5.34.
What are you gonna do with it?
My $5.34.
Yeah. What are you gonna do with it?
Maybe I'll
Get a
invest
45 show, Mike.
I'll invest in some fungible tokens.
Buy some crypto.
I'm gonna buy another domain, probably.
How many do you have? How many do you have?
So I have to say I have divested myself this year. I had about 98, and I'm now down to 46.
Whoa!
Wow. Hey,
Because
that reminds me. MSID.dev. I think it's a domain that you owned. You took the website down, didn't you?
Yeah,
Do we have the source code for that?
sure, somewhere.
In your flattened machine, so we have to send your hard disk for repair.
I did just flatten my.
Yeah.
I did just flatten my. No, IEF.WTF. I had to keep that one, Bolt. That's a great one. That one I'll keep probably forever. So I think I've still got B2C.WTF too, but
yeah, I was gonna say I remember you saying you had that one. B2C.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You were quite welcome. I'm glad that video helped.
Yeah, somebody was asking for the source code, but we have to be explicit about the fact that ADAL to MSAL migrations are very unique for each project. So even if we do provide you with the source code, it's probably not going to help you much. But there is documentation about migrating from ADAL to MSAL. I'll find the link and post it here because they do have a lot of examples of taking older ADAL implementations and moving them to MSAL to help you out. And if you get stuck, please do reach out to us. There is definitely an opportunity to connect you with the right teams to help you out if you are struggling with the migration, because please be aware that you only have 6 months left for the migration. Our teams have really shifted in prioritizing that even internally, because we had a lot of software that was running on ADAL and they had to help them out and move off that to MSAL, even first party software. So if our SDKs have been quiet, it's because our teams have actually been full on focusing on that. So if it's not a priority in your company, please do make it a priority. Public service announcement end.
Bolt has D2C.dev, which is probably I think it's just the most fantastic. It's probably the best domain name that could ever be made.
But he's got 2 spare E's in there. It would have been awesome if it was just D2C without the 2 E's.
Now, do you remember Experts Exchange?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God.
It's still around.
I mean, it was that long ago. Yeah, well, that's the thing. His first name is D, so that's why D2C.
Got it.
So there's a reason that Experts Exchange has the dash in their domain.
Oh yeah, because back in the day,
if you take out the dash, it looks very different. There was also another one that I saw on the internet. Of course, I went out on the internet and I found this sort of thing. And there's also one that was like an exchange student thing called Kids Exchange, which was a lot more.
Oh God!
And then Bolt over here on Penn Island. Yeah, that one probably needs a dash too, I think.
We just went back to 7th grade. All of us went back to 7th grade.
And that one's now been burned into the video forever, which will make it.
Yeah, thank you, Bolt. Now we have to take the video down for not being PG.
We can't monetize this one.
Anyway, I put the document down the link to the document for the migration stuff.
There was a dash. Yeah, that's the important part. There was a dash. You could have done it the other way.
Yeah, the dash
Yeah.
really helps. So
Thank you
anyway,
for keeping it PG.
so yeah, I'll be around on Discord, and I'll probably still hang around here sometimes. Maybe I can come back and we'll talk about.
You'll come as a guest.
I'll come as a guest.
Yes.
Don't change the password on me.
Oh God, you have all the passwords for this third-party software. God damn,
Okay,
we don't
now-
have single sign-on and SSO and these things. Oh man.
Well, here's the thing. Now, I will say this. So I got my sign-in stuff
Mm-hmm.
a couple days ago.
Oh, you mean for the new company?
For new company. So I got my sign-in info for new company. And I went and signed in. And now, okay, so I've worked in enterprise for 17 years, various enterprise sizes, and did a little commercial software dev for a while. But every place I've worked has used Office, because why wouldn't you use Office? It's
Right.
objectively the best Office suite on the planet. I mean, even working here, it's Office. Who doesn't use Office? I
Well,
found a place.
companies that don't use
doesn't
Office.
use Office.
yeah.
A lot of startups don't use Office, right? But
Yeah, so I'm learning that. So there are 85 messages in my Gmail inbox, and every single one of them is inviting me to some other third-party tool that they use to run their business. Which, I mean, I get it, right? Like, you don't want to. Nobody should be building those tools themselves, but I think I finally understand why things like the My Apps and Azure AD are so important, because if you have 400,000 apps that you have to use to get your job done every day, you're never going to remember all of them, because, of course, none of them have a descriptive name, right? They're like Linux database projects. They all have strange names like Cockroach. And you're like, what is Cockroach? And you're like, oh, that's your expenses tool. And you're like, but what? So
you're gonna need like a cheat sheet to figure out what's what.
yeah, I'm going to get one like on my arm, like a quarterback, like you open it up to see what the plays are. It's like, oh, you need to commit some code. All right, here's the one you need to go find. So
I just image of you with like sticky notes by your desk, like
yeah.
cockroaches.
Well, do they have a password manager? Do they have an enterprise password manager where you can get all the secrets? Yeah. But hey.
I got invited to a LastPass.
Oh,
there you go. I use LastPass.
I mean,
it's not a bad one.
It's LastPass for work, so at least it's not like it's not family. Because the first when a company calls you family, that's a big red flag.
Yeah, that's when you should potentially submit your notice and go find a new job.
Wait a minute, we are a family here. We've been talking about family for the last 18 months. Oh, now I see. You got a new job. We're not family anymore. Fine. Fine.
No, I just mean that, like, people who over rotate on family when they're like recruiting you or you starting a job, it's like not quite sure that's the best way to describe working here, right? Like, I go to work, you do what you got to do, you get paid. I mean, who's working for free, right? Nobody. The whole, like, I know there's silly arguments about passion. If you don't have any passion, you can't be a successful programmer, blah, 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 blah. That's all bullshit. I mean, if you're a successful programmer, they get paid for it. Don't, and I firmly and solidly agree that, or believe that, you can be a very good programmer and not care about programming at all, and not have any sort of deep innate passion for it. I think
interesting. There was a tweet from Emo, the .NET PM yesterday, saying exactly that. Like, some people need to make money, and some people need to, they do it for work. You don't have to be passionate. Although I have to say that software development is a very software development, and in general computing, it's one of these jobs that you have to, if you don't enjoy it, you have to really grind it. Like, you can stack behind a semicolon for 2 hours and you're like, hey, I solved the puzzle. I love this, right? Then, nobody enjoys being stuck behind a semicolon for 3 hours, but when you solve it finally, you're like, damn, man, I'm not going to take my 3 hours back, but that's a good lesson I learned. But somebody that does it just for the money, they're like, F this shit, I'm out. Like, you do it 5 times and it's like, it's not worth my money. Like, even in software development, I had contracts or consulting jobs where I literally walked out because I was so miserable. WPF, .NET 1 in 2015. I was like, what is this shit? No matter how much money you pay me, I'm not stuck in .NET 1. I'm out. So, I mean, yeah, you need to approach it with caution, right? And even with IT Pro, like if you're stuck behind, why is this PC unable to, or this VM unable to join domain or fix something, and then you have to fiddle with ARM templates or whatever software you use, it can be a grinding job. Like if you don't enjoy this, don't do it for the money. Somebody has Silverlight. Oh my God. Johnny B says they still have Silverlight.
Wow.
Wow.
Damn. Like living
Silverlight did have some cool stuff.
They did. Yeah, it was.
Remember Intune? You actually couldn't use Intune without it. I'm like, I thought it was the only product that was holding on to Silverlight's longevity was Intune for years and years.
That
and
was
years.
like the original Azure portal was.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
So, no, I mean, if you don't like what you do, it's going to be boring and a pain, without a doubt. It's always great to get paid to do things that you like to do, without a doubt. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that it's certainly not a prerequisite either, right?
Yeah.
So they're moving to Blazor. Well,
good.
JP has a lot. Studio. JP has a lot of insight there to give you about Blazor. Come on.
Yeah, make sure you use Visual Studio. God forbid you use VS Code like an adult, and because it won't work. It's just miserable. I tried it yesterday I'm still annoyed about the fact that it used to work fine and now it doesn't. So I guess it just hasn't been updated for 6, but I just the whole thing annoys me to death. But that's okay because now it's somebody else's problem.
No, I'll say this, as somebody whose background is very heavy in infrastructure, right? Rack servers, dealt with building out servers, very manual configurations that moved more and more towards automation. I've had moments where I'm like, I didn't realize the comma wasn't supposed to be there. And you waste like an hour trying to figure out, well, what the hell is wrong? And you're reading some like weird verbose message that doesn't necessarily make sense. You're trying to do some Googling. So I have a lot more appreciation for my developer friends. I used to hate developers. I was like, I don't have infinite amounts of compute, storage, and networking for you to just chew through, right? And they were always like, why do you always have to say no? And I was like, well, because we don't have unlimited storage, networking, and compute. Now we do with the cloud.
What are you talking about? Of course we do.
Yeah.
What do you mean? So, well, anyway, I'm gonna have to get going because apparently I've got to do some onboarding today. So I have to come up. I have 20 minutes to come up with a hot take, and I have a laptop that I have to I have to start up. So, anyway, everyone take care of these two, please. Welcome Shannon with open arms. She'll be fantastic. She has tons and tons of experience with Azure. She and I used to work together on the same team. We'd go out to customers and we would cash the checks that the salespeople had written. And
we would oftentimes sit in like diagonal parts of the room and just like I am each other like, oh my God, like I'm trying not to die of laughter right now.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute. Like, which one of these people told them that Web Apps does this? Because it wasn't one of us, And so we would go and help customers, do the things that the salespeople told them it would do. And I think she's got a ton of deep like Azure knowledge and lots of various infrastructure things and IT Pro things and even some dev things now. So I think you'll be in really good hands.
Yeah, I joke often. I'm now playing a dev on TV to the point where like I had customers call me for a code review, and I'm like, no, I actually need to bring my .NET devs in. Like I think I brought one of our former colleagues in. And they were dying.
You should definitely do a code review.
Yeah, right.
And just and just make some random noises for a while.
That's what I feel like. So the former colleague of ours, that's what I think he just did. He was like,
yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah.
And I was like, man, I could have done that. I was worried.
There's an engineer.
I don't know.
I worked with an engineer years and years ago. And the guy was this, salty old guy. And I was young, so I was looking for validation of what I was building was the right thing, and really looking up to these people in terms of, oh wow, they know what they're doing. Yeah. And the nicest thing he ever said to me was he put his hand to his finger to his lips, and he had this long pause, and he said, well, you could do it that way, and then he got up and walked away. That was the nicest thing he ever said to me.
I always appreciate those folks. They don't give it to you nicely. They're not, they're, oh, everybody gets a prize. No, they're gonna break it to you like it's real, and you're like, God, I suck.
So anyway, but it's been fun, and I think you're in super excellent hands. I think this will be a really cool year because we shifted to really align with what our division's doing. So you see a lot of new faces, a lot more experts, a lot more people coming from our division to come and talk to you about new stuff and cool stuff. And I think it'll be a really fantastic 2022. So
you're still going to be taking the GC meeting, so we can tell us what the next thing we're doing, right?
Those are the meetings that I deleted with extreme prejudice from my calendar. I was like, aha! I stood up and I looked at my keyboard and said I can't wait to delete these. So those I had one set of meetings that were some of the most painful meetings I think I've ever had in my life. You sit around with 20 people and you're like, so can you tell me why somebody would care about local development? You're like, what? You got the 2 biggest IDEs being built, 5 buildings down the hall. What do you mean? Why do people do local development? What reality do you live in? No, man, that one killed me. So
it was that, the motto of that whole division is winning the hearts and minds of developers, right? That is like you walk through the building and that's the banner they have in there. So it is weird that like a few buildings down the road, developer is like number 1 priority, and our division is like the forgotten. What's it called?
Should we do
the
that?
Forgotten.
Maybe is that a fad?
It's not a personality. What is it? What do we call them? The forgotten. How we have like. Remember when we have. It's not personalities. How do they used to call them? Like when we joined 18 months ago, they were trying to figure out how many personas. How many personas we had. And they've been trying to figure it out for the last 18 months. Like,
I think we're up to 46.
We built software for them.
We need to put a little thing in the corner with how many current developer personas are there, and I think today's number is 46.
Yeah.
And we need one of those signs. Like there have been this many days since a new persona was created.
Every new PM that joins the team, let's try to define our persona. Like no, we're trying to consolidate.
Persona's been defined. We just now need to like streamline it a bit, right? Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what a hammer is?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it is, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's been a bunch of fun. I'll still be on Discord. I appreciate the last 18 months of all of you entertaining Christos and I for twice a week for hours on end and telling us what you like and what you don't like. And I certainly wouldn't get any quieter, but now you've got Shannon, so now you have adults, at least one adult. Will now be
one.
On the
stream. It just depends upon the day and the time of day, right? Because I can work this.
So anyway, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to get out of here. Make like I can't say that one. That's probably too offensive, but I'm going to get out of here. And
I was going to say, I think I know what JP was going to say. And there have been times he said that around people and it like the record scratch. And he's like, I'm just going to go. Fine. I'm just going to
go. I will tell you one story, and I can't tell you the whole story because because this is work, but there's a guy that I worked with. There's a guy that I worked with and we were in a meeting together. I didn't really know him very well. Like I knew him, but I didn't really know him that well. And we were on a call with somebody and he uses a colloquial term that is, I mean, you could see how somebody wouldn't know what it meant and hadn't thought it through. And so they would say it, but it means something very different to the rest of us. And he said it like 3 times on the phone. And all of us were just shocked. I called my wife. I'm like, you're not going to believe what this guy just said. And so she now knows him only as that guy. She does not know his name. She only knows him by the term that he was using. So when I saw him the other day, I was like, oh, I'm out with Joe. We're going to get some lunch or something. She's like, who's that? I'm like, oh, So,
the guy that said,
yeah, the guy that said the thing. So I guess that story's not much fun if you can't actually say the term. You know what? I'll do another stream on my own channel and I'll tell you the term. So, or I guess maybe I can put it on Twitter because it won't matter and it doesn't matter by the end of today. So anyway, thanks for everybody for the last year and a half. It's been a ton of fun. This has been one of the highlights of my career, and it's been a ton of fun working with you guys too, Shannon and Christos. And sad to go, but
we're gonna miss you, man.
Yeah, we're gonna miss you.
Miss you.
It'll be all
But
right.
we'll have you back on the show one way or another.
Yeah.
At least I'm not dying. So,
This is also true.
well, I guess
Well,
we're all dying in our own
Yeah.
way.
You should write a book.
Yeah.
This is a complete waste of time.
I don't think so. What would
JP
the
doesn't
book be
believe in
about?
books. He doesn't believe in books. As in, nobody should be writing books anymore because why would people?
No,
read all-
I don't even know what I'd write a book about. None of my life has been interesting enough to write a book. Maybe a collection of short stories.
About finding
But
pictures for PowerPoints. I mean, I think that could be its own chapter.
Yes. Yeah, that is a skill. Oh,
that I will say, like that's the PowerPoint strategy. I think that would actually be a good book to write.
Yeah.
Make it kind of tongue in cheek the whole time because I've seen some awful PowerPoints in my day.
oh God.
And a really well made meme photo that really gets your point across. Like I had one about what it's like as a customer whenever your sales team comes in, and it was a picture of the Macy's Day Parade with a giant turkey in the middle. Like, because that's exactly what it feels like if you're a customer. You have 47 people. You say to somebody, "Hey, man, I need to move some web apps to Azure with a database," and before you know it, you've got 52 salespeople in your conference room telling you all about SQL and web apps and Kubernetes and everything else. So, anyway, take it easy, my friends. Have a happy time zone, and we'll see you soon.
It's been a pleasure. And just the two of us.
It
You're
is.
going to be seeing a lot of us in the coming weeks and months and hopefully years. Unless I push Shannon away like I did JP and he finally had enough. It's like, screw this, I'm out.
No. This is like a fun opportunity for me. Just the idea of getting a chance to work with the engineering team to deliver messages so that folks understand how to make technology work, right? I think that's the hard part, right? Taking
Yeah.
something end to end, because you'll do a little something in the documentation. You can have a 101, 201 tutorial, but it's that end to end, I think, that we're looking to hopefully try and fill in the gaps across a number of different spectrums, but all with an identity focus. So for me, that sounded like a cool proposition when this opportunity came up.
It is. And now we're going to touch a lot more items, just development, because last year has been very, very focused on development, and we didn't have a chance to do a lot with DevOps and IT. And it's a pleasure having Sarah here because she will fill all the gaps that I have. So exciting stuff. In fact, we're kicking off Friday with a new stream as well. Me and Sarah are going to be looking at GitHub Actions and the new OpenID Connect connector that allows you to authenticate to Azure without really passing service principals anymore, which is great. So we're going to be building that on Friday morning. So make sure to tune in, and we'll announce more streams as we go. But you won't have that 3 month gap or sabbatical that we took for this because now we have a plan.
Yes.
We're the team with a plan. Yeah.
Yes. And then I think too, we'll be focused on efforts each month. So we'll have these like smaller streams and they'll have like kind of the bigger, broader streams where we bring more people in to talk about the technology we're trying to focus on. So like we've talked about January's decentralized identities, and I've learned a ton. I'm excited to talk about it a little bit more with the folks that are in it every single day. Right. So
Yeah.
it'd be a good time.
It would be. And Sean saying that he wants to be a mod. We would love to have you as a moderator on our stream. Absolutely. And somebody said, so Johnny B. Cat on YouTube said, I would love to see more end-to-end scenarios. You're absolutely right. Up until this point, we'd be focusing on maybe dev, and we didn't do much with DevOps. We did individual bits with DevOps, but there will be a lot more end-to-end stories. And there will also be thematic streams. So as we said in January, we're going to be focusing on decentralized identity and everything that you can do with it and why you should be doing it. We hope that you guys will participate on the hackathon. There will be some cool giveaways, but also the opportunity to talk to engineers, learn from them, and get support if you get stuck. So make sure to stay tuned for all the announcements. We'll try to put a public calendar out so you can see what's coming. And there will be a blog post that explains everything about that. And finally, time to put in testing. Yeah, we haven't done a lot of testing. We are either build and deploy kind of a team, or we just build without even deploying. So I agree. But testing is something that we haven't really covered.
Yeah.
But
it
is. Yeah.
It's becoming such a hot topic that one of my good friends, she has built an entire career around testing. And so it's a super fascinating realm. And I guess if you're building software, right? Because I've never worked. I mean, outside of Microsoft, I've never worked for a company that develops software. So I guess if you're working for one of those companies, that's a big part of the actual end product. And I didn't realize this until I started talking to her, that it's this whole realm of focus for these huge companies that are shipping software. So I don't know.
It has to. It has to be.
Well, right. And it's one of those things too. Like if you would have told me like 10 years ago that people would be trusting the cloud, that I'd be acting more like a developer, I wouldn't have thanked you. That, you know, just the idea that people would be trusting the cloud, right? So here we are.
Just because you're out on the cloud doesn't mean that you let go of all testing. I have to say
of
that people are having fun. I think people say we should be testing in production. Testing is for the weak. Phil Snubble says testing is for the weak. Well.
Oh, nice. There is a QA. So Johnny B. Cat is he's a quality analyst, quality assurance, probably assurance, right?
Quality assurance, I would say. Yeah, or quality analyst. It depends on which team you work on and which company you work for. All these different titles. I do have a banner here that says I don't always test my code, but when I do, I test it in production.
Yeah. I think that's the way I did it, right?
I have to say that testing has changed quite significantly over the last few years. There was a lot more manual testing back in the early 2000s. Microsoft had a lot of testers, and then we let go of them. We switched totally to automated testing and letting developers do most of the testing through unit testing, integration testing, and quality assurance. It's something to be said about the human element there, because I believe that there should be a team that tests your software before it gets pushed out. But the Agile Manifesto has also pushed many teams to actually deploy faster with less testing and letting people provide feedback while you're dogfooding, right? So there's a dogfooding branch of your product where people are willing to test it and they're expecting to find errors, and then they get rewarded for finding these errors. So, we let our customers now willingly test the software and maybe give us the right feedback.
Yeah.
And I think that's nice, especially for UI testing, right? Because I don't there was even for Windows, right? Windows 11 got a lot of early feedback when people would say, I don't like the thing in the middle, the taskbar or the icons, and I want them to be on the side. And we're like, okay, maybe we can give you an option to move them to the side. So, oh my God, Rational Robot and SQA. Wow. Johnny B. Cat, that's a lot of history there, man. But I've been on both sides of the fence with no testing and full testing. I would say you need a combination of both to be comprehensive. Sid hits the fan. But testing doesn't actually cover everything. So even automated testing sometimes will let things slip through the net. That's why you need users, like actual people testing the software as well. But maybe we should have a session around testing and get your friend here to tell us all about her experiences.
I think she would enjoy it for sure. I can reach out to her, because I know I've gotten her connected with a couple of different folks doing podcasts at Microsoft. So I don't think she's opposed by any stretch of the definition. And I think she would bring interesting, unique perspectives in the mix because she's doing it every single day, right?
There you go.
So
if you guys want to learn more about testing and you want to maybe have a session about that, let us know in the comments. I know that we're nearing the end of our session. We're not going to be coding today, but we're going to be coding and running stuff on Friday. So this was more of an introduction to Shannon, which I'm really excited to be working with, and dropping the sad news that JP has left us for another job.
He'll be back at some point, but I just don't know when.
I think so. He's going to cash out from that startup, and then he's going to come back and work for a hobby.
Yeah, right. Exactly, because he's made all the big bucks, right?
Yeah,
the big bucks.
Yeah. And then he's got no pressure to attend meetings or whatever. Like, screw that. I'm here just to have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
So before we go, we need to raid someone. I don't know if someone has ever done any raids, but I have a couple of friends live right now. We have our very good friend CL Dubois, who's always bidding. JP who? He's forgotten. Thank you, son.
He's left the building, right?
His chair is not even cold yet, man. Come on, that was hard.
That's true.
Yeah. So the show was offline for a while. We were trying to come up with our next iteration.
The guy that loves Kubernetes. That is. I mean, I was joking about getting him a Kubernetes shirt at one point. He was
We
not-
should. We should.
I feel like we should, as like a care package, just send it to his house. He'll be like, really?
Yeah.
I know where he lives. I sent him the
Uh-huh.
I sent him one of those, so I know
Yeah.
where he lives.
You're absolutely right, Fuel. We'll, yeah. He will be known as the guy that used to love Kubernetes in XML. Well, thanks everyone for joining us once again. It's been great having you. You're going to be seeing more of us. Hopefully, we'll be seeing more of you as well.
Yes.
And until Friday, stay safe, stay healthy. I know Omicron is rampaging through Europe and the rest of the world. So please wear your masks and whatever.
Yeah, wash your
and
wear your mask and wash your hands and
wash your hands.
yeah.
I mean, washing hands should be without going, like saying, I don't know if you used to travel, but I saw some horrific stuff when I was in airports and stuff.
I did too. But you know what's crazy is I've traveled minimally in the pandemic, and I've seen more hand washing and more opportunities to get the hand sanitizer, which I was never a huge fan of. But if you can't wash your hands, it's better than nothing, right?
Yeah, yeah. Please wash your hands because sanitizers don't really cover.
No, they don't.
100%.
They definitely don't. But I feel like we'll get through this at some point, and we'll all have a Roaring 20s whenever this is done. So maybe that's why they had the Roaring 20s 100 years ago, because the flu that hit 1918, it sort of died down in the early 1920s, and so then they had the Roaring 20s. So maybe that's what we have to look forward to. Maybe.
Yep.
I don't know. We'll hope. So anything's gotta be better than this, right?
Oh yeah. So I'm responding to QBA because he's asking about QB. Yeah, please, if you have any questions, I know it's a little bit late on the show, so won't be able to cover it. But make sure to join Discord because we have a very active community, some really good friends helping out, and you can get support. And if we can't give you support on Discord, we'll definitely guide you to our official support channel. So make sure you get there. But that's it. I'm going to raid our very good friend CL Dubois, and then we'll see you all on Friday. Stay safe. Raid in 7 seconds. I'm not good at this. I always forget. So we need to get better at this because JP's been doing.
I'm actually not sure what this is.
Also, the raid. We take everyone from our stream to the other stream.
Oh.
And we can say goodbye to everyone. And that's us.
And drop them off. Okay, sounds good.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.